This ordeal of yours, how much of an ordeal is it? Is it the kind of ordeal like going to visit a rather elderly, ill-kept, and female relative is an ordeal? Or is it the kind of ordeal more like plunging your hand into scalding hot water to see how fast it takes off the skin sort of ordeal? So you may be wondering what that was all about. Well, that was a quote from one of my favorite books, Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. And today's episode is basically going to talk about Neil Gaiman, and that's going to be my recommendation. He's an English writer, if you don't know. You've probably heard of him because he writes a lot of stuff and a lot of famous books. And he did the Sandman comics, which I haven't read, but anyone who likes comics says they're good. He also wrote Stardust, which I liked as a movie a lot. And he wrote Mirror Mask, which is really cool too. So that quote is from this book right here, Neverwhere. It's a pretty awesome book. It's my favorite one. It's basically his first novel. And there's a BBC miniseries of it, which is really cool. But its production values are kind of bad, and he feels really bad about that if you watch special features, because it was supposed to have been nicer. But it's a really cool story, and it's not his best written book, but it's really, like, the world's really cool, and I really like it. And then the reason I'm talking about him is because on Monday I went to a reading he was doing. He's got a new book out. It's this right here. It's the Graveyard Book. It's sort of a kid's book, but it's for adults too. The content, it's pretty cool. I like it. And he did a reading of it for an hour, and it was magical. It was like being a little kid read to. And what's really cool is online he's posting the video. He's doing a different chapter at each stop of his tour, which is basically over now. It's got a few more stops, I think, but he's doing a chapter at each stop, and they're recording them, and they're putting them online for free. So by the end of it, you can watch him perform the entire book, which is really cool if you don't want to buy the book. And listening to him talk is just, he's really good at reading his own work. And he has his British accent, and everything is really cool. And I recommend you watch him, and I'm putting a link to the first one in here. And also, his journal, I'll put a link to too, which is pretty cool, because he keeps this online journal, which you can contact him from, and he's really good about responding to questions and things on it. And yeah, and this is cool because it's a signed copy. He normally does a signing, which I've never gone to, but he couldn't this week, or this tour, because of time constraints, and he has a broken finger, but he was very nice about it. And this way we got an hour reading, an hour-long question session, and some special clips from Coraline, which is a children's book he did, and they're doing a movie. It's the same guy who directed The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I'm forgetting his name right now. And it's stop motion, and it's really cool looking. I'll put a link to the trailer there too. And so yeah, he's awesome. I'll show you a couple of his books I have. I have more, but these are just like a collection. This is a children's book, and it's huge. It takes up the entire space. It's called Dangerous Alphabet. It's sort of a macabre children's book. It's for children who need to be watched, as he said. Yeah. I don't know if you can see the pictures, but they're really macabre and cool. And this is really fun. And this I found is basically it's just Stardust the movie, if you remember, with Michelle Pfeiffer and Claire Danes and Robert De Niro and a couple other people. And it's a really good movie. I liked it a lot. And this is like a visual companion, which was really cool. And it was on sale when I found it in this cool little bookstore I go to in LA. Neither of you in LA, so I won't tell you about it, but it's like this science fiction and mystery bookstore, and it's really fun. It's a little independent bookstore. So that's cool. But yeah, he's my recommendation for this week. I really like his stuff, and he seems like a really nice guy, and he was really nice in person too, and fun to listen to. So I'm going to put a link to those videos for the new book, and I'll link to maybe on Amazon some of the books. So yeah, I really like him, and I really like his stuff. He's a really good author, and really nice guy. And yeah, Neverwhere's my favorite if you wanted to read one of his books. Stardust's really cool too. Most people like the book more than they like the movie, but I like the movie a little bit more because I guess it has more of a happy ending. It's hard to explain, but yeah. So is American Gods is his most famous one, I think. At least like the most popular novel he wrote. And Stardust is big. There's graphic novel versions. There's all kinds of stuff he's done that's hard to find. But he's really cool. He even wrote an episode of Babylon 5 back in the day. Yeah, I like him. So that's my recommendation for this week. Laura, I'm really sorry you're having a bad week. I know how it goes when you have to make a video and you don't want to, like I was last week and I had to study, but I hope you're doing better this week, and your dancing was cool. I watched that video. I took my LSAT now, so I'm a little more sane, if you've noticed. So I'm just relaxing, and now it's a nice, even mood. And then Mike, congrats on your job, even though you don't like it. You've got a job, which is good. I have a lot of friends who have been looking and can't find anything, so it's fun. And it's nice you get to work in a cubicle, get to be a true office worker here. And your training's ridiculous sometimes. I remember going through some trainings, and yeah, it's fun. So congrats on that. I hope it's bearable at least. And I'll see you on Friday, Laura.